Check. Check 1, 2. Hi, everybody. We are going live in just a moment. I'm still saying hello to a few people in the chat. Good to see all of you. Sounds like everything is working properly. We'll get started in 32 seconds. And we're going to talk about summertime fun today. So let's just give me a moment to make sure everything is working properly, which I think it is. Everything sounds good. Everything seems to be running good. Again, we'll get started in about 12 seconds. It's good to see some familiar faces in the chat. Good to see all of you. And I think I'm almost ready to go here with this lesson on summertime fun. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about summertime fun. I made this lesson because Jen and I are going to go, I should speak proper English. We are going to go and see a Blue Jays game later this week. So I thought that's something fun you can do in the summertime in this part of the world. So I looked and researched. I looked for and researched all the different things you can do in the summer. I should say this though, this lesson is very Canadian/American. It's not it's not a worldwide lesson. This is as much a cultural lesson as it is an English lesson, because I'm going to primarily be talking about fun things that people like me do in the summer. People who live in North America, people who live in Canada like myself, and people who live in the United States. So if you're in another part of the world, this will be some fun English learning, but it might also be a little peek into what North Americans sometimes do in the summer for fun. So anyways, welcome to this English lesson about summertime fun. I think you'll enjoy it. Hey, I do want to say hi to a few people. Hi to Know That, Key Park, John Wedge. By the way, Know That, I responded to your comment in my short lesson this morning. Gave a little tour of a new window and a new door and a couple new windows. Hi to John Wedge, Key Park, Know That, Roman, Julie, Lolly, Nuri, Etienne, Key Park. I think I've said hi to Key Park 3 times now. Wanda Prado, Anita. I know Brent from American English with Brent is here as well. Bonjour à Freddie Wolf. Hi to Freddie Wolf. Pinky Chew, Nastaron, and all of the other familiar faces. Lolly, Hafiez, Vitor, Unsel. Good to see all of you. Cat Diary as well. And I probably missed one of you. I apologize. This is a lesson about summertime fun, not a lesson on saying hi to the 184 people who are watching. So I'm sorry if I did not say hi, but welcome to this English lesson. A few things again before we start. Most of you are familiar with this. Please use the chat to have fun English conversations. If you have a question, there is a link that you can use to send a question via a form. And hopefully, if you have a question, it is on topic. I like it when the questions are related to the topic that I'm talking about. So good morning to all of you. Let me just do a quick check here. Is the focus working? Let's see if things are focusing. Oh yeah, things are focusing. Sounds like everything is working great. I think we should get started. So should we get started? I think I've mentioned everything I normally mention. And I think I've said hi to most of the people that were saying hi to me. So here we go. Bask in the sun. So I wanted to use this phrase because you might not know the word bask. When you bask in the sun, it means you just lay in the sun and you enjoy the warmth. It might mean that you're trying to get a suntan. If you like to tan, it might simply mean that you like the warmth of the sun. I don't often bask in the sun, but a great example would be this. Sometimes our cats will bask in the sun. They'll go and they'll find a sunny spot. In the winter, when our dog Oscar is in our house, sometimes there's sunlight on the floor of the area in the house where he is, and he will lay in that spot where there's sun and he will bask in the sun. So to bask in the sun simply means to enjoy the warmth of the sun. It doesn't necessarily mean you're trying to get a tan. It can mean that, but it can also simply mean laying in the sun and enjoying the warmth of the sun. You might go to the beach. This is something that I do in the summer. You might go to the ocean, or you might go to a lake, and it might have a beach. A beach is a sandy area beside a large body of water. And by the way, if this phrase is familiar to you, don't stop watching, because there will be more advanced phrases as we go along. If you were like, I know that one, go to the beach. When you go to the beach, you might bring a beach towel. You will definitely wear your bathing suit so you can go for a swim. Maybe you're someone who likes to surf and you might go out in the water, but it's very common in this part of the world to go to a beach to bask in the sun and maybe to go for a swim. Or you might build a sandcastle, or you might play some beach volleyball. Very popular here in Canada. People often play volleyball on the beach. It's very hard to jump when you're in sand. I've played beach volleyball before. It can be very, very challenging. You might go for a swim when you're at the beach. You might go for a swim in your pool. You might go for a swim at a friend's house. Jen and I sometimes visit the relatives who have a pool. We have relatives that have a pool, so we might go there for a swim, but we sometimes just say, go for a dip. So this means the same thing. I could say, I'm going to go to my friend Joe's house for a swim, or I'm going to go to Joe's house for a dip. You might say a dip in the pool, but if I was at the beach, I might say, hey, I'm just going to go for a dip. Does anyone else want to go in with me? So again, go for a swim, go for a dip. They mean the same things. You might go to a splash pad. So when our kids were a lot younger, instead of going to a pool, we would go to a splash pad. When kids are 2 or 3 or even 4 years old, sometimes they don't know how to swim yet. And sometimes it's fun to simply go to a splash pad. A splash pad has fountains. It has these things that dump water. If you see the yellow thing, that's a bucket that slowly fills with water. And then when it's full, it dumps. So if you have little kids, or if you have nephews and nieces and you go to a pool, there will often be a splash pad beside the pool, and you can go there to cool off. Summer is usually hot here, so we go to cool off. You might go boating. So you might have a boat, or you might rent a boat, or you might have a friend with a boat. So you might go boating. You might go out on the water. You might go water skiing behind the boat, or you might do some fishing. But simply going in a boat and going on a lake with the boat, we would simply say, go boating. What are you doing this afternoon? I'm going to go boating. My friend has a small boat, and we're going to put it in the river, and we're going to go boating. You might wear some shades, or you might wear some sunglasses. I don't have a pair here right now. I think both of my pairs are in, I think I have one pair in each van. I often wear sunglasses when I'm driving, and so that's why I usually keep them in the van. And we do call them shades sometimes. Like, where are my shades? Have you seen my shades? I can't find my shades right now. Shades, it's simply another word for sunglasses. So you might wear sunglasses, you might wear shades. Because the sun is really bright, that's why. You might go to an outdoor concert. So in Canada, you can only go to outdoor concerts in the summer. Maybe late spring, early fall as well, but there's usually, it's pretty rare for there to be outdoor concerts in the winter because it's quite cold. Sometimes on New Year's Eve, you can go to an outdoor concert, but it's cold. So summer is a time where you can go to an outdoor concert. Jen and I actually went to an outdoor concert on Canada Day. So we saw what's called a cover band or a tribute band. They were called the Practically Hip, and they do all of the songs from the real band, the Tragically Hip. So you might go to an outdoor concert. There's a town near me where Once a month, there's a free outdoor concert. And there's another town near me where every Thursday, there's a free outdoor concert. Very nice. Very nice to go to an outdoor concert and listen to some music. You might sit in a lawn chair. So when you go to the beach, when you go to an outdoor concert, when you go to the park, when you do a lot of these things, you might bring a lawn chair. So a lawn chair is a folding chair that you can unfold or set up, and then you can sit in it. We also have lawn chairs in our van, just like I have sunglasses in the van. There's usually 1 or 2 lawn chairs in our vans in the summer because sometimes you'll visit someone, and we normally sit outside when we visit in the summer in Canada. So you usually you bring a lawn chair with so that you can sit outside and enjoy each other's company. So you might sit in a lawn chair. You might have a barbecue. So when I went to visit Brent, we went to his brother and sister-in-law's house, and his brother had a barbecue on July 4th. He had a barbecue. We sat and we ate some yummy food. We had hot dogs, we had burgers. It was a very traditional American barbecue. So a barbecue is an outdoor cooking appliance. You can see the man in the far left where the smoke is coming up. That is called a barbecue. But you can also say you're going to have a barbecue, which means you're inviting people over to eat some food with you in the summer. So Jen and I sometimes will have, we'll say to my my sisters or my brother, hey, come on over tomorrow. We're going to have a barbecue. We'll cook some food for you. So you might have a barbecue and you might stand around and talk. That's what you do a lot at a barbecue. You might go to a cottage, or you might go camping, or you might go glamping. So let me explain these 3. A cottage is a building. In my part of the world, people go north. Most cottages are up north. There are a lot of lakes in northern Ontario, the province where I live. So people will often go and rent a cottage, and then they'll go to the cottage for the weekend or for a week. So a cottage is just a small building, usually on a lake or river, but sometimes just within walking distance. So you might go to a cottage and just enjoy your time kind of out in the wilderness a little bit. You might go camping. This is similar, but you usually stay in a tent, or you stay in what's called an RV, which is like a house on wheels, or we sometimes call it a motorhome. But camping is similar. You'll go somewhere really nice and peaceful outside of the city in order to just be out in nature. So you'll sleep in a tent or in an RV and enjoy your time away. Very common. I shouldn't say no one. Very few people camp in the winter in Canada. Some people do. Glamping. So glamping is a slightly more luxurious form of camping. You can see here that this tent looks really nice. There's couches, there's a rug. It looks like they're on like a wood surface instead of just on the ground. So glamping is a relatively new word. It just came out in the last little while. And it simply means, I think it's a combination of camping and glamorous. Yes, I just looked that up. So you have the word glamorous, right? Which means like rich and wealthy and luxurious and nice. And then you have camping, and then they put the 2 words together and they call it glamping. There's actually a place just down the road from us where you can go glamping. They have yurts that you can rent. It's supposed to be very, very nice. But hey, let's look at some questions. I think I went a little too far along. Let me get some questions on the screen. First question is from Ruslan. Ruslan has the record for first questions, I think. Anyways, Ruslan, hello, dear teacher Bob. What is the most popular vacation destination for Canadians? Which one is your favorite? Best wishes, sir. We have several. So I live close to Niagara Falls. That is a very popular destination for Canadians and for tourists from around the world. We also have the Rocky Mountains. So if you go to, like there's a place called Banff, there's a place called Whistler. You can go hiking, skiing. You can see the mountains. Those are two popular locations as well. Yeah, there's several. I don't want to just keep naming them. If you do a search for great places to go in Canada, you will find many. Let's see here. Know that. Hello, Bob. Hi, know that. What summertime fun activities did you like to do most as a child, and what do you like to do most nowadays? Thanks, Bob. As a kid, I loved going swimming, but I also liked having water fights or water gun fights with my siblings or friends. So a water gun shoots water. You've probably seen them. So I would say as a kid in the summer, I liked going swimming, and I certainly liked having water gun fights with people who were visiting. In fact, on my birthday, I often got, like, I would have 3 or 4 friends over, and then my mom would buy water guns for us for the day. From Denis, do you like summer trips around Ontario? There are a lot of fascinating places to explore: lakes, lighthouses, caves, waterfalls, adorable small towns. Yes, I really do enjoy living in this part of the world in the summer. There's lots of good hiking. There's lots of good nature trails or hiking trails. That's what Jen and I love to do. There's the opportunity to go see baseball games. There are lakes to the north and south of me. To the north is Lake Ontario. To the south is Lake Erie. So there's beaches. It's a great place to live for doing things in the summer. And yes, there are a lot of really fun, small towns. Judith. Hi, Judith. I hope you're feeling well. I know you are recovering, so I hope things are going well. Judith. Hi, Bob. Is your summertime fun, does it have any similarity with your wintertime fun? Differences? Do you like pistachio ice cream? I don't like pistachio ice cream. I'll eat it, like in a pinch. Like if I'm craving ice cream, I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite. Yeah, I like being outside. So that is what they have in common. In the summer, I like being outside as long as it's not too hot. And then in the winter, I like being outside. So that is what they would have in common. But let's see, in the winter, yeah, I'm more likely, like, I was more likely to just play outside with my kids in the winter, but my kids are getting older now. So I don't do that as much. Let me see here. From Peter. Hi, Teacher Bob. I missed a lot of your live stream last month. Nowadays, I really like to bask in the sun because in my country, it is rain season right now. Oh, yes, that would not be fun when it's rainy. Wait, did I read the wrong one? I read the next one. Sorry. I'll read this one now from Daniel. Hi, Bob. I hope you are doing well. What is the temperature outside in your place nowadays? Thank you, Dan. So for about 6 days, it was high 20s, low 30s Celsius. So it was quite warm and it was raining a lot. I feel like we just had a rainy season here, which is not normal in Ontario, Canada. Today it's going to be 24 degrees. Yesterday it was 23 degrees. Much, much nicer. I really enjoyed those temperatures. From Peter, hi Teacher Bob. I missed a lot of your live stream last month. Nowadays, I really like to bask in the sun because in my country, it has the rainy season right now. A few fixes as I read that. I think I understand a little bit what the rainy season is like, just a little bit, because it just kept raining here. But yesterday it didn't, and today it doesn't look like rain. So cool, Peter. It must be nice when you do get some sun to take some opportunity to bask in it. From Julie, happy birthday, best wishes. This is always the fun part of the year. One of my summertime activities is I get a year older. I have my birthday, or I will have my birthday, or I had my birthday. Hard to say. Many of you have wished me a good birthday. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Even a few gifts. Thank you to those of you who sent me something for my birthday. You don't need to, but thank you very much. And I will not say how old I am until, well, I should just stop talking. Let's go to the next question. Orsi, is it possible to say soak in the sun instead of bask in the sun? Not exactly. People like to soak up the sun or bask in the sun. So you have to add the word up. People like to soak in the sun or bask in the sun or soak up the sun. Sorry. People like to soak up the sun. Yeah, soak in the sun. No. Let's see here. I'm just checking here to make sure. Oh, it's even a song by Sheryl Crow. I like to soak up the sun means to be outside in the sunlight. There you go. Now we know. From Young, how much do Canadians spend on their family day off camping? It's not cheap. I haven't gone to a campground for a while, but I think it's probably $70 or $80 a day to go to a campground, like for 24 hours. But I would have to check that because I don't normally go camping. Sally, which beach in the Toronto area is your favorite? I have not been to the beach in the Toronto area. It's not a common destination for me. I usually go south to Lake Erie, sometimes to Long Beach, and there are other beaches in that area. So, sorry, it almost sounded like I said peaches. I'm saying beaches, but it's also peach season here. Like you eat peaches. You can go to beaches and eat peaches. Did you know that? So no, we normally don't go north to Toronto to go to beaches. I know there are some beaches there. We usually go south to Lake Erie. Let's see. Last question, off topic. Hi, Bob. May you answer, are Brent and you kin? No. Brent and I are simply, well, I'm middle-aged. Brent's younger than me. We just happen to look similar. It's the standard, it's like the middle-aged dad look. It's what most people like me and Brent, when we hit that age. People of Northern European descent, when they're in their late 40s, early 50s, just look like us. There's nothing special going on. But hey, let's get back to the lesson here. I want to say hi to the 270 people watching. Very cool. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get back to the lesson, and we will slowly but surely finish this off. You might see a ball game. You might go to a ball game. You might see a baseball game. You might go to a baseball game. In English, in my part of the world, if you say ball game, you're simply talking about baseball, American baseball. Kind of North American, because we do have the Toronto Blue Jays, which is a Canadian team. And then every other team is American. But if you want to see a ball game, summer is, of course, the time to see a ball game. You can go in the spring and you can go in the fall, but summer is just a great time to go and see a ball game. Jen and I, as I mentioned, I'm wearing the hat because Jen and I are planning to see a ball game later this week. We are super excited to go. The tickets were super cheap. They were only $20. So that's great, because last time I went, they were quite a bit more pricey than that. But baseball, someone comes up to the plate, the pitcher throws the ball, the batter hits the ball, they run the bases, they try to get the batter out. I could probably do a whole lesson about baseball. You know what? I don't know if Brent's a baseball fan, but we should do one together on baseball. That would be a fun lesson. So if Brent's still here, let me know if you're up for that. Anyways, you could see a ball game. You could go and see a baseball game. You might do some gardening. People often like to grow plants. Sometimes in your house you have house plants, but sometimes outside you have a small garden. So obviously in the winter, if you live somewhere where there's winter, you cannot do any gardening in the winter, but you might want to do some gardening in the summer. Maybe you're going to grow flowers. Maybe you're going to grow vegetables. Either way, you would be doing some gardening. A good, healthy, fun activity. You might go canoeing. Now, we use the word canoe when we talk about this type of boat. This is a canoe. A lot of Canada was explored by canoe many, many years ago. A canoe is something that you sit in, you can paddle your canoe, and you can use it to go for little boating trips on rivers or lakes. More common on rivers. Lakes are a little bit big for a canoe, but you might go canoeing. You might go for a hike. A hike is simply a walk, but you're doing it out in nature. So these people are walking on a nature trail or a hiking trail or a nature path. I would most likely call it a hiking trail. It's a place where people have walked and have walked for enjoyment. Usually when you go on a hike, you see lots of interesting things. When I go on a hike, I like to hike where there's lots of trees so that I'm in the shade. But certainly a hike is a fun thing to do in the summertime. You can hike in the winter, but it's usually a little more enjoyable to go for a hike in the summer. You might go to a festival. So in this part of Ontario, Canada, we have a lot of different festivals. You might go to a music festival where there are outdoor concerts. You might go to a food festival where they serve a certain kind of food. You might go to, I live close to vineyards. If you watch some of my videos from a year ago, I made a few videos in a vineyard where they grow grapes. So we actually have a grape and wine festival later this year in a city close to me. There will be a peach festival because they grow peaches close to me as well. So you might go to a festival. At a festival, you might listen to some music, have some food. You might just sit with friends and have a good conversation. But festivals are certainly fun to go to when it's warm outside in the summertime. You might hang some patio lights. So I know this is a pretty specific one, but these strings of lights are called patio lights. A patio is an outdoor area attached to your house or apartment where you can sit. Some people call it a veranda, patio. A porch is on the front of a house, but behind our house, we have a patio. It's a brick area, and we don't have patio lights up there right now, but sometimes we put up patio lights so that you can see when you go outside at night. So you might hang some patio lights in the summer. Okay, so I have to warn you, I know some of you are not people who drink alcoholic beverages, but this is beer. And sometimes in Canada, and I think in the United States, they will say, I'm going to have a cold one. Why don't you come over and have a cold one? Hey, are you thirsty? Do you want a cold one? If someone uses the term cold one, they are talking about beer, okay? They're not talking about soda or pop or Coke. They're not talking about other things like a bottle of water. If someone says to you, hey, you want to come over and have a cold one after work today? They are talking about beer. A very, very common way to talk about beer is to use the term a cold one. So in the summer, you might have a cold one. I do not drink a lot of beer, but I do have some. I don't drink any in the winter. And in the summer, I have one a month, maybe two. I'm not someone, I've never been someone who drinks a lot. I just never really been that interested in that. You might turn on the AC. So AC stands for air conditioning. You can see they have an air conditioner up on the wall there, and he's pointing the remote control and turning on the air conditioner. He has decided to turn on the AC. When I visited Brent a couple weeks ago, I went to his house, and then while I was there, it was quite warm, and Brent turned on the AC. You would never turn on the AC in the winter. That just doesn't make any sense. But certainly in the summer, many people will turn on the AC. They will turn on the air conditioning so that they can stay nice and cool in their house. So even if it's 30 degrees outside, they can stay in their house where it's 24 or 25 degrees Celsius and stay nice and cool. You might have a picnic. So you might go to the beach and have a picnic. You might go to the park and have a picnic. A picnic is when you pack some food, sometimes in a picnic basket, but more commonly now in a cooler, just because it's just more practical to keep the food cold. And you might bring a picnic blanket, and you might go and sit somewhere and eat outside and have something to drink outside. So you might have a picnic in the summer because it's just really pleasant. If I go and have a picnic, though, I usually don't sit in the sun. I usually try to sit under a tree in the shade. But certainly in the summertime, you might have a picnic. You might pack some food in the morning in a cooler with ice packs to keep things cold. And then you might go somewhere nice and you might have a picnic. You might have a water fight or a water gun fight or a water balloon fight. This is something that children usually do, but sometimes adults do as well. It's warm. It's hot. Water cools you off. So sometimes we have water guns and we shoot water at people. Sometimes we fill, like, you know what a balloon is? You can blow up a balloon, but you can also fill a balloon with water. And then when you throw it at someone and it hits them, it bursts and then they get water all over them. So pretty common thing to do. When I was a kid, on my birthday, we would have water gun fights. It was a lot of fun. Definitely something fun to do in the summer when it is hot. Have a water fight of some kind. Go for a bike ride. I don't do this a lot, but it's a nice time of year to go for a bike ride. I'm more likely to go for a walk or go for a hike, but maybe you like cycling and maybe you have a really nice bicycle. You might go for a bike ride. You might go to a park. This is something I do enjoy doing in the summer. Parks are just beautiful natural spaces that you can visit. Sometimes you can go to a park and have a picnic. You can go to a park and just sit on a park bench and enjoy having a conversation with someone. You might go to a park and go for a hike. You might go to a park. Let me see what else. You might play frisbee or play some football in the park. You might go to a park and have a water fight. But yes, going to a park, always an enjoyable thing to do in the summer. Just a nice, calming place, a place where you can be in nature for a little bit. Hey, let's go to members only chat mode. And then after that, I will finish off the lesson. For those of you that are new here and are wondering what that means, I usually go into members only chat mode for about 10 minutes during a live lesson. I will keep answering questions from over here. But if you are a member and have a question, you are totally welcome to ask it in the chat. At market yesterday, a lot of people came to talk and visit, and I talked too much, and I had to talk really loud. So I feel like I wore my voice out a little bit. So excuse me if I keep sipping water a lot. Let's see here. I'm only going to answer questions that are on topic. So I might skip some. From Robert, is summer the best time to visit Canada without being eaten by mosquitoes? No. In fact, we have two things in Canada. We have mosquitoes and black flies. In my part of Canada, we only have mosquitoes. But if you go further north, there's also black flies. We often spray mosquito repellent. It's sometimes called off to keep the mosquitoes off. No, summer's the worst time for mosquitoes in Canada. So if you're outside at night, usually early morning and late at night are when the mosquitoes are out in force. So not a great time to visit. Question from Know That. You once mentioned a pool near you that you sometimes go to. Is it a big pool, and is it more of a classic pool or an adventure pool with a lot of slides and diving boards, etc.? Thanks, Bob. It is a pool that's designed. It's a really big pool, by the way. It's about the size of a basketball court, and it's sloped. So when you walk in, you're only in this much water, and then as you walk further in, it gets deeper. And then in the middle, it's above my head. So it's made from concrete, but it's made to be kind of like a beach. I know that sounds silly, but anyways, that's the pool we go to. And then right beside it, they have a splash pad. So that was very enjoyable to go to when our kids were little, and still enjoyable to go to now. We buy a season's pass. Let's see here. It looks like this. And so for a whole year, I can bring a van full of people to the pool. I still have to pay a couple dollars to go in the pool itself, but I can get in the park. So the pool's in a park. This is getting elaborate, this explanation. And then we can just take a van full of people, and then we each pay $2 to go for a swim or go for a dip. From Wanda in the chat. Hello, Teacher Bob. What are the main activities? What main activities do your children used to do on summertime? Thanks. Okay, I'm going to fix that a little bit. What main activities did your kids used to do in the summer? And what activities do your kids do now in the summer? So I changed your question a bit. When my kids were little, they just played outside a lot. Sometimes we would set up a sprinkler and they would run through it. We would take them to the pool, usually twice a week. So we would go for a swim or go for a dip. My kids would visit friends or have friends over. My kids would usually, they have cousins that are about the same age. So like one of my kids would go to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's, and then one of their kids would come to my house. So when they were young, they did a lot of that. Mostly just played outside a lot. Now they just work. They're teenagers. They have jobs. They work more than me in the summer, actually. So I find that quite interesting. From Fred from Easter France. Bob, you mentioned sunglasses. I wear glasses to correct my eyesight, okay, or my vision. Little fix there. What do you call this type of glasses? Thanks for all of your answers, Bob. We would just call them prescription glasses. You can get sunglasses that also have prescription lenses in them. So you wear normal glasses in the house, but you can wear sunglasses outside and it still corrects your vision. So let's see here. I'm clicking all the wrong buttons. From Key Park. Do people play kayak in the river near a house in the summer? People do kayak, yes. Usually on a long weekend. So if Friday or Monday is a holiday, you will see people go by in kayaks or canoes. Again, a canoe is like the picture I showed you. A kayak, you sit in the middle and you paddle on both sides, whereas a canoe, you paddle on one side. The slightly different kind of boat. But yes, you'll see jet skis, boats, motorboats, kayaks. Someone came by on a stand-up paddleboard a couple weeks ago. Know that. Regarding your birthday, Bob, had or will you have a water fight this year too? Haha, just kidding. I don't know. Maybe we did. Maybe we will. Maybe that's later today. My birthday's not today, by the way. If you keep track, I've mentioned 3 times the day my birthday isn't. So it's not my birthday today. That's all I'll say. From John Wedge in the chat. Hello, my friend Bob. As always, no questions today, but I have news. My wife is pregnant again. Congratulations. Last year, around 3 months, unfortunately, she had a miscarriage. Oh, I feel bad for you. We hope everything goes well this time. I hope it does go well as well. So very cool news. I hope everything goes well for you. From Michael. Hi, Teacher Bob. Farm kids usually worked in the summer, baling hay, etc. What did you have to do? Thanks in advance and have a nice weekend. Yes, I worked all summer on the farm. It was a combination of work and play. So my memory of summer is that I would just play outside until my dad needed me for something, and then I would help for an hour, and then I would play again. So I didn't really know the difference between work and play, because quite honestly, driving tractors and being out in a field, it all seemed like fun to me. So, but yes, farm kids definitely work in the summer. John Wedge says, don't forget to give a thumbs up, folks. Thanks, John, for that. Let's see here. Hafiez. Back when I was still small, I remember cicadas, stink bugs, ladybugs were everywhere during summer. Nowadays, they seem to be all gone. Wonder if there's some similar phenomenon over there. No, we definitely have all of those bugs in enormous quantities. Key Park says, thank you, Bob. No problem. Hafiez says, congrats, all the best to John. Yes, I would echo that. Freddie, I don't have further questions so far. I just want to salutate you and thank you for all the amazing work. Au fait heureux anniversaire d'hier ou de demain. And then happy birthday tomorrow or yesterday. Yes. Or next week or in 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Who knows? I have Confirm my birthday's in the summer, I think. John says, thanks to Half. Yes, know that. Bob, personal question. Do you still do things together as a family in the summer, or do your kids prefer to do something for themselves and you do something with Jen? As always, only if you want to make a statement here. Yeah, it's kind of both. As kids get older, they do their own. Sometimes they're just working. When Jen and I go to do something fun, they're working. So that prevents them. But we try. But usually, if we do something as a family, usually one or two or three of the kids isn't there. It's rare for us to all be together at one time, unless it's a special event like a birthday or something like that. Let's see. John says driving tractor is amazing. I do like driving tractor. Lolly says, John Wedge, congratulations. I wish you the best. And then John Wedge says thank you to that as well. Let's see here. There are a lot of questions here. Oh, I'm just behind on seeing them. Okay. Let's see. I think I answered most. So I'm going to go back to normal mode. If I see a member question, I will still answer it in the next few minutes, but let me switch the mode back to normal mode. And let me just do a quick check and then we will finish off the lesson. By the way, if you're one of the 242 people watching, thanks. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button over there at some point, and you will get notified when I do a new lesson. Let's see here. Let me see if there's another question up here. Nima says, greetings, dear Bob. Thank you so much for your great live streams and videos. No problem. I love doing them, and I am going to keep doing them. Where are we at? Run through a sprinkler. So if you hook a garden hose up to a tap, and then you put a sprinkler on the other end. A sprinkler is something that you use to water the lawn. Sometimes they go, sometimes they just go back and forth. We have several kinds, but we would often, when our kids were little, set up a sprinkler and they would run through the sprinkler. Another thing we would do is we would put the sprinkler so it shot water onto the trampoline. So they would jump on the trampoline and then water would hit them as well. But quite common when it's hot out for parents to hook up a sprinkler, a water sprinkler, and then kids will run through it to enjoy the water and to cool off a bit. You might set up a kiddie pool. So I wasn't sure if you knew this term. A kiddie pool is a small pool. You can see these parents have set up a kiddie pool. A kiddie pool only has about this much water in it. It's very, very shallow, which makes it safer, but still you always need to watch kids when they are playing in water. It's very important that you watch kids. But you might set up a kiddie pool and your kids might go for a swim if you are a parent. We had a few kiddie pools in our life. We do not have a kiddie pool now because our kids are too big. But you might set up a kiddie pool for your kids. You might go to a garage sale. So a yard sale or garage sale is something that usually happens on Saturday mornings. You drive around and people sell used things, used clothing, used electronics, used furniture. They look in their house and decide there are things they don't need. And so they have a garage sale or yard sale to sell them. Sorry, I should have put the term yard sale there as well. They're interchangeable. Even if the sale is in the person's garage, it can still be called a yard sale. You might eat ice cream. That's what I did last night, and I probably shouldn't have. We got home from market, and I had a big bowl of ice cream. That might have been a mistake. I probably ate a little too much yesterday. So I got up early and went for a walk right away this morning. You might go fishing. This is similar to, or this is in addition to what I said about to go boating. So you might go fishing off a dock, or you might go boating and you might do some fishing as well. In fact, you might hang a little sign up that says gone fishing, so that when people come to your house, they know where you went. People don't do that. That's just something you see in old TV shows and old movies. So Let's see here. Um, so I don't know how common this is around the world, but it is very common in North America to eat watermelon in the summer. This is a watermelon. They're huge and they're heavy and they're mostly water, but they're also really yummy. They taste really good. We eat watermelon in the summer. There's watermelon in our fridge right now. This is a very common thing. I think because in the summer you're so hot and you're very thirsty, eating something that's sweet but also very juicy and has lots of water in it is just a very yummy, tasty thing to do. So you might eat watermelon and you might just enjoy the taste and the refreshment that you get from eating it. You might go on a road trip. So this is interesting because I think this is very common in North America, in Canada and the United States, because we do not have a lot of high-speed rail. We don't have a lot of like trains that go from city to city. You can take a train, but it's not as common as maybe in Europe or in some countries in Southeast Asia or in Asia. In Canada and the United States, you often just drive. I went to see Brent. It was an 11-hour drive. I would call that a road trip. A road trip is when you get in a car or van and you drive like a day or 2 days or 3 days or more to go and visit someone or to see something. Like if I wanted to see the Grand Canyon, Jen and I could go on a road trip and drive for several days to go and see the Grand Canyon. So again, I think a very North American thing, but that's the term we use. Like if someone said, "What'd you do last summer, Bob?" I can say, "Oh, I went on a road trip to Maine to visit my friend Brent. It was a lot of fun. Took about 11 hours to get there." You might have a campfire. This is something Jen and I do in the summer. We've only had a couple so far this year, but we will have campfires. For my birthday, I might have a campfire, or maybe I did have a campfire. Who knows? But anyways, it's a time where you sit outside, usually at night, around a campfire. You might roast marshmallows. I think these people are roasting marshmallows. Marshmallows are like soft, yummy, sweet things. But you might sit around a campfire. You might have a cold one. You might roast marshmallows. You might sit in a lawn chair. Actually, you'll do all those things. But yes, you might have a campfire in the summer and just enjoy some time outside. You might go to an outdoor market. Jen and I like it when people do this in the summer because we sell flowers at an outdoor market. So you might go to an outdoor market to buy some things. In my part of the world, there are a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables in the summer. Watermelon, peaches, later in the summer and fall, apples, plums right now, asparagus, strawberries. I'm trying to think what I all saw at market yesterday. Blueberries, raspberries. There are many things to buy, and the best place to buy them is at an outdoor market. So you will often in the summer go to an outdoor market, maybe even once a week, to buy things that you want. You might put the top down. I don't do this because I don't have a convertible, but you might put the top down if you have a convertible. You do not want to do this in the winter. You would freeze, excuse the term, you would freeze your butt off. I'm pointing down to my butt. You would freeze your butt off. But in the summer, you might put the top down on a nice day. I think you just push a button. I don't know. I've never had a convertible, but you might push a button and then the top of the car goes down, and then you can drive around like this bottom corner version of the car with the top down. And that's the term we use. Like, "Oh, you have a convertible? If we go for a drive, can you put the top down? I would love to feel the wind through my hair as we drive around." So you might put the top down. You might go to a drive-in. So you can go and see movies outside at night at a drive-in theater. We did this when the kids were little. We haven't done this a lot recently, but you wait till it's dark and then they show a movie and you sit in your car, or you might sit in a lawn chair. And then usually you turn your radio to a certain frequency and you hear the sound from the movie. But yeah, again, I haven't been to a drive-in for a while, but a drive-in theater would be a fun thing to do in the summer. Again, you wouldn't, well, you can't go in the winter, but you wouldn't want to because it would be too cold. But yes, you might go to a drive-in movie. You might sit in your vehicle and watch the movie, or you might sit in a lawn chair and enjoy the latest movie. Hey, that's the end of the lesson. Hafia says frozen derriere in the chat. Yes. Gora, my dad liked watermelon and I don't like apple. Oh, there you go. John Wedge says Bob's birthday will be an eternal mystery. Possibly. Hey, let me see if there are one or two more questions and I will answer those. The Avril Lavigne fan says, enjoy the summer, Bob. I still find it difficult, I have to add a word, to see the difference between beach and the word, I'll just say it, it's not a good word, bitch. I'm afraid I'm offending someone. So here's what I always tell people. The little thing that buzzes is a bee, right? Bzz. There's a bee. And then when you're talking about the place with sand by a lake or the ocean, it's beach, beach, beach. You're going to the beach. So another thing to remember is that if you use the whole phrase and you make sure you make the sound B, you'll be okay. Because in context, people will understand it. I'm going to the beach. Oh, I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to lay on my towel. I'm going to bring my beach towel and I'm going to bring a beach ball and I'm going to go and do a lot of swimming. So that's how I would answer that one. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. It's a little early, but that's okay. Do remember a couple of things though. This lesson will come out in a shorter version in a couple days. You should watch it again or listen to it again, or at least watch the parts that you didn't understand. There will be fairly accurate subtitles on that version, which might help you. So number one, repetition is good. In fact, if you want to improve your English learning, you should be watching everything twice. I know that's boring the second time through, but if you watched my video at the dump from this past Tuesday, you should watch it again a few days later. Or just listen to it. You don't have to actually watch it necessarily. That repetition will really help you remember what you learned in that lesson. So this video will come out. I'll remove the questions and it will be a pure lesson about summertime fun. And do watch that or listen to it again. Know that says, thank you for the great hour, Bob. It's nice to be here again and spend time with you. Yeah, it's good to hang out. I wish you and your family a lovely and relaxing day and weekend. Best wishes to them. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks, Know That. You as well. Oh, OzTX says, your English is so beautiful. Thank you. Freddie Wolf says, you can eat peaches on the beaches. You can. Yes. Wow. Fin. Yes, it's the end. Bye, says Vitor. Let me get to my other screen here so I'm on the right screen. Michael says, bye, everyone. Enjoy your trip, Bob. Thank you very much. Well, trip, I am just going to go to Toronto in a few days for a baseball game. So not a huge trip, but bye to Judith. Get well soon, Judith, by the way. Bye to John Wedge, Young, Lolly Lolly, Vitor, Key Park. Bye to Know That again. Freddie Wolf, say, déjà fini. Have a great weekend. It's already done. Have a good weekend. Yes. It went quick, didn't it? Well, it's a little early as well. Let me check if sometimes there's more questions later and I miss them. So let's put this one on the screen. Hi, Bob. I always miss your live streams due to my busy schedule. Could you suggest any fun summertime activities or events that you enjoy? Thanks. Get outside. So it's common in English to say to people, you need to get outside more. So I would just say, get outside, go for a walk, go for a hike, go for a bike ride, have a picnic, go for a swim. Go outside and enjoy the great outdoors somewhere. Let's see here. Bye to, who am I saying bye to? Bye to Cat Diary, Claudia, and everyone else. I think I'm just going to hit the button and finish this lesson off. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. See you Tuesday with another lesson. By the way, I did put a lesson out late this past Tuesday. If you didn't see it, there is a lesson where I went to the dump. People really enjoyed it, but for some reason, I don't think everyone got notified. The video isn't doing very well. Kind of weird. But I think it might be because I put it out in the afternoon when most of the English learning world is asleep. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it, let's see here. I'm going to find the link to it. Let's learn English at the dump. There it is. Let me put that in the chat for a sec. Learn English at the dump. Here we go. Oh, I'm clicking everywhere. What's Bob doing? He's trying to put a link. So there you go. Learn English at the dump. Let me pin that as well for a sec. So if you look at the pin message there is a video, Learn English at the dump. If you didn't have a chance to watch that this week, please go watch it. I think you will really, really enjoy it. I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. And I got rid of stuff as well. That was nice. It was nice to throw some things out that we didn't need anymore. Anyways, thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Bye.